A practice that I love, and maybe this is just something to share too, is also from that same mentor. She gave me two very powerful words that work every day for me, and it's until now. It's like I struggle with confidence until now. I can't do this until now. I really have always wanted to do a website, but I can't until now. And they're two really, really powerful words. And it really does eliminate the word struggle.
Hey, Jack, it's James. Dude, I just wanted to give you a call and let you know that you rock.
We are psyched to have Kelly Rose Sarno on again during COVID for an update. Enjoy part 2 of the Dark Side of Elite podcast.
This is the Dark Side of Elite. Let's go. You're not bouncing around the bedroom in the house. You truly look like you're in self-quarantine.
I'm in very much. This is my makeup station.
Cool.
This is what it looks like currently. That's my hair station. This is my backdrop stuff. And then over here, I decided to open an online store while I'm quarantined. And this is where I take all the pictures of it. This is my 4th bedroom in my house. That should have probably been a guest bedroom because we do have family. But I was like, no, I'm getting a glam room. So I have a glam room in my house. And then on this side is just like my desk and like all my actual like work stuff.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's my favorite space.
So, yeah, like this is my favorite space that I'm in. I spend way too much time in here. Hey, how has your life changed in the like week and a half?
It's interesting because like to me, I was real nervous because we always have a lot of moving parts to life right now, so it's like I have my business, which unfortunately like always has to take precedence because that's the income. And I'm super grateful to still have an income right now because I know so many people don't. So in that sense, it's kind of business per usual, but I have 2 kids in the house now 24/7. And I've never been more grateful for like teachers in my life because my kids go to daycare full time, like a curriculum based daycare full time. And my husband's in the middle of launching his own startup business. So it was just like really, I don't want to say bad timing, but for lack of a better description, it was just like kind of bad timing because my husband's been working so hard on his thing. And, I'm always just busy all around. So, but I'm surprised at like how much of it we are actually enjoying at the same time. Like we get to do some fun stuff with the kids and spend a lot of time outside, and we wouldn't normally get this time because my kids aren't in school where like they're home for the summer, but the past like 3 or 4 days it's been rainy and dark, and those are the days that are like really, really hard. I was talking to my mom about it and I'm like, okay, so yesterday we made construction paper chains for their birthdays. We did gardening. We planted seeds. We did arts and crafts. We baked something. We did this, we did that. And we did 45 minutes of school via Zoom. And that only took up like 2.5 hours. I'm like, I got like 9 hours left to go before these kids got to go to bed. Like I'm running out of ideas. So we ended up breaking down and finally getting the kids a tablet to like, they can do some learning apps and stuff. So it's been a challenge in that sense, but I've enjoyed a lot of it too, to just kind of be reminded to slow down a little bit.
I remember when we had to move overseas, and those flights can be anywhere from like 13 to 17 hours in the air. And I remember breaking down and just getting like everyone this little Nintendo thing. And I was like, here. And
it's, this is something that I've shared on social media a lot because I obviously have a large amount of followers that are moms. And we had a video go viral in between all this too.
Oh, cool.
We're going to talk about that.
I'll go back to that one sec, but it was about the tablet, so I've made it 5 years without my kids having like their own piece of technology. Now, like we had a mini iPad for like when we were on the plane. And
sure.
But the only thing that was on the mini iPad was a movie. So I would download one movie and Declan could have that. And then I eventually downloaded like the Hungry Caterpillar app on it, which is like nothing, So that's the only like access Declan has ever had. And it was kind of like a treat when we were on the plane. And so we ordered 2 of the Kindle Fires, which I returned and ended up getting iPads because I wasn't a big fan. But a lot of people are like, well, why did you get one for Everett? Because he's only 2, or he'll be 2 in 2 weeks. And I'm like, we're just at that stage in life where like you can't have one without the other. And I'm grateful that I made it 5 years without it with my first kid. But unfortunately, like Everett just won't experience 5 years without it because his brother has one. And right now he's this little shadow. So he has to have both of them. So I've already seen like how Declan is going to be super addicted to it. So Sean and I are trying to come up with like our guidelines for it. But on days like today and yesterday where it's just rainy and dark, you can't really have many guidelines because it's like you really do right now just have to buy the time.
I was surprised when we made that jump to a degree. I mean, there were game stations, but then, iPads for us. Mm-hmm. I was amazed at how many educational apps. I mean, there really are. As a matter of fact, I know when my kids were really young, I was like, my God, they can learn all the basics just by these educational games. So you do have some control about, what apps you download and things like that. And so in a way I was like, it's a really good tool, and we held off as long as we could with cell phones. But you're exactly right. Like once the oldest gets something, it's a trickle down because the other ones are getting a hold of it or it's causing a fight. And, but I've been pretty good, or I've been decently satisfied with, I guess, my kids merging into technology opposed to crazy.
I mean, it's like they say with all of us, though. It's like, the Beatles were going to rot your brain, and then the TV was going to make you a madman. And, so it's all relevant to our time and age, So I know that Declan's going into kindergarten and they're going to be using them in kindergarten. So I knew around 5 years old is when I would give it to him, so that he could just be a little bit more prepared for school. And it's funny because when I was watching him do it, like he didn't have that motor skill to just like tap a certain part of the screen, and he was like banging it and he was like off a little bit. But it's bizarre because within days he's like a freaking pro at it. Yeah, it's unbelievable to watch him do it. It's really cool. So, yeah, go for it, Scott.
Well, I think it's just like a lot of other things, and I'll let Scott go. But you just have to teach them the good and bad. And,
you don't even need to teach them; they teach themselves.
Right. But as they get older, like the responsible use.
Yeah.
This is a 2-part one. So Kelly, totally on board. I've been following you about the whole fire thing. I ended up buying one.
Yeah.
Same boat you are in today. Want to throw it out the window and just buy an iPad. So, but we are going to keep it because the kids do like the Alexa part of it. We didn't have one in the house. But one thing is a lot of times like I love your feed just in general because you help me make decisions because I don't want to spend the time wasting searching because that is a bad habit of mine. But one question I'm like really interested, and it's maybe I want to answer my own question with this, is that in a time of unknown, you launch a new business, you launch a website. Sean's launching a website, and I'm like totally in the same mindset of not necessarily opportunity, but it's like, let's freaking go. Yeah. And I'm wondering if it's fear-based for me for not knowing what's going to happen, or is it like, okay, this is my time to shine. So I'd love to have your and Sean thoughts on that. I would say
it's definitely fear-based, and it's interesting to see the dynamic difference between Sean and myself, right? And you know us personally, mm-hmm. So you know how dramatically different my husband and I are. So to me, I'm like, okay, I'm always looking for like I'm a solution-based person. So like, what's the issue? What's the solution? And for me, it's like, not everybody's out of a job, right? And there are a lot of people that are out of a job, but a lot of people aren't. So a lot of people really are shopping right now. And there are so many things that I share for other people that my network gobbles up. And I'm grateful because I do take the time to really research things. And if I don't research something, then I try it for a long time before I share it. Like I was actually just on my live video before this talking about these hair vitamins that somebody sent me. And I'm like, man, I'm just not a fan, like I'm not going to do it. And they offer to pay me a 20% commission. And I'm just like, I can't do it if I don't love it. And so for me, I've wanted to do this for a long time because I am always sharing things for other people and not myself. And sometimes the price points that I see, I'm just like, I could offer it to people so much cheaper, because it's not about like really making a profit for me. It's really just about offering like another solution for my customers. So crystals and sage and all these things are something that I'm really into. So that'll be something that'll go in my store. And for me, it's just like, okay, I'm going to do one little bulk. If you guys want it, you can snag it at this price. And then the next item will come in if you want to snag it at this price. So I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to order it. If I make a little bit of profit off of it, great. And then there's my husband, and he's been working on this for months and months and months. His welcome post on his business page, which we haven't even shared the business page, but the welcome post on his business page is very well curated. It takes like a week for him to come up with just what's right. We draft it, we go over it, we revise it, we do it together. He does it with his coach, so it's much more planned out and well thought out, but me the other day, I was like, all I really need is a Shopify and a wholesale account. So I applied for a wholesale account, got approved, and built a Shopify in one day by myself. And I'm just like, everything will be in next week, guys. So I think that it is a mentality, and you can't come from a lack mentality. You just have to come from an abundance mentality all the time. And when you do, then you're more apt to just make things happen.
You're shoot first, ask questions later. I love it.
Yeah, I'm just like a learn as you go instead of like learn then go, because then you're just constantly learning, and it's like, maybe that's why I didn't go to college or whatever. I just like to learn from experience, like those street smarts or whatever. Like I just would rather get my hands dirty and figure it out. Because if I figure out, like actually with my Shopify account, it was funny. I set up my shipping the wrong way, but like within the first 4 orders, we realized that the shipping was wrong. So it's like, oh, cool, just quick button to fix it instead of like researching for hours and hours. So maybe I lost like $6 or $8. I'm like, whatever. In the grand scheme of things, the store is up and running and I lost $6 to $8, but I'm still profiting. So I don't know. It was just something that's been on my mind, and not that I have extra time right now, because I actually don't have extra time right now. It was just like, I don't know, the kids have been involved and it's been fun. Declan spends a lot of time in my office with me when I'm doing things. I did like a big closet sale of like a bunch of items that I had in my closet that are like gently used. And he was like taking all the pictures with me and helping me pack stuff up. So I like that my kids get to see that entrepreneurial lifestyle here in this house for sure.
You better watch out. He's gonna be selling stuff on YouTube and going crazy when he masters it all, because he's gonna be like, I know how to do all this.
I'll be right behind the camera.
When we were talking about crowdsourcing, Scott was introducing me to crowdsourcing. I didn't know what it was. And my son happened to be listening, like standing right here. And when we got done, he looked at me and he's like, you don't know what that is, Dad? I was like, well, I do now. He's like, I've been doing that for like 2 years on my YouTube channel. I'm like, oh God.
For an Xbox. I think he wanted to.
Yeah, no, he was filming himself playing Xbox games. And then, people would play their commercial. And if you would watch the entire commercial, I think he got like a penny or something.
That's what my YouTube is monetized.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. But my son, exactly. There's nothing wrong with it. I just didn't know what it was. And for like 2 years, he was like, yeah, I've made my money. It's in my PayPal account. And, we had to set that all up, but then we didn't pay attention. And then he explained it. And I got to be honest, I didn't really believe him. He was like, Dad, I just posted a new video. Make sure you watch the whole commercial. And
so I can make some money, Dad.
Right.
Send me his link. I'll watch it.
Yeah. And then it was like a phase, but he was into it for like 2 years. And then he heard us talking about it.
I made that mistake on YouTube. So I had a video go viral this last week and a half, and it's got like 2 million shares and like 66 million views on it or something. And it's actually Declan's video. I say it's his video because I'm not even in it. And I'm so sad because at the end of it, you can hear him go, oh, Mommy, I know why. And then I stopped recording, and his next words were, it's so powerful. And I wish that I like got it, but I always believe that like it happened for a reason, and maybe it wouldn't have gone viral if it was 4 seconds longer, but it went viral and it got picked up by like Good Morning America and all of these major news websites. And there are these licensing companies that will reach out to you when you have a video go viral, and they will claim to manage your video. And so I gave them the video to manage. And I'm so pissed I did, because they monetized my YouTube video that now has like 70,000 views on it, and they're making the money off of it. Yeah. So, and it's like, it had already gone like majorly viral when they reached out to me. So I was like, oh, maybe it'll get like another couple million views or whatever. So, and I'm so mad because now my YouTube video belongs to somebody else, you know, and it was, and I had monetized it, and they took my monetization off of it and put theirs on it. So you live and you learn. But I got like, so my business page went from 24,000 followers to now 78,000 in the last week and a half.
That's a good hit rate.
Yeah. It's been so fun because like, this has happened to me once before. I had a video. Well, I've had a couple videos go viral. So I had a watermelon video go viral where I cut a piece of watermelon with dental floss. And that got like 30 million views, but it literally, not one follower came from it. And so I learned why I didn't have that return on that video. So when this video went viral, I was like, okay, now I know the mistakes that I made. And I made a mistake with this one too. So if I ever have another one, then I know. But this was my third time going viral. And the first one that I had brought me 68,000 followers. It was crazy. And that brought me so much business because it was a hair product that I was showing. So it was very relative to my niche. This one, it just brought me a ton of followers, but it will eventually turn into business. Like the other one was like, I couldn't even handle all the orders I was getting, all the people that were, I mean, hundreds of people were joining my team a month. I'm like, normally we bring in maybe 20. Somebody like me, I bring in like maybe 30 to 40 per month. I mean, hundreds of, I think one month I had 258 people join my team. I'm like, you can't even mentor that many people. So it definitely made a name for myself in my business, which was really cool. So yeah, it's been a wild experience to have three. So my first video only had 3 million views, and it brought me residual income for the rest of my life. And then the second one was 30 million, really didn't do anything. And then this one is 60 million, and it has brought me like 70,000 new followers. Yeah.
I'm gonna refer her to the music business, like, because I spent so much time in it. But how many one-hit wonders like do we have in the music business? And you've actually have went viral 3 times. So my question is your mindset everything you put out, you want to go viral? Or is your mindset, like, do you actually strategize and go, I'm going to put some time in this and I think this has some legs? I'm kind of curious on your approach on that.
You know, I tell people all the time, anybody can create a viral video, like, but there isn't like a recipe to it. So, right. But I'm big into like manifestation, you know, so, and I believe in the law of attraction, and I believe that's like my belief system is like very much like the universe. Like in my house, we don't really talk about like God. We talk about like Mother Nature, you know, and we don't really talk about prayer. We talk about like manifestation and good vibes, and your energy goes where your energy flows is what we say, you know? So we don't really practice a religion per se in my house, but my children will tell you like Mother Nature made me, you know, so I don't know, it's kind of a hippie vibe, but whatever. So I know in like my soul when something is going to go viral. And I know that sounds so crazy. However, you can't just like show up one day and create a video and consider it to go viral. Like you followed me for years. Like I'm relentless in my pursuit.
You show up every day.
Every single day.
Yeah.
But my goal is to provide a solution to people's problems, you know, or like their issue. Let me help you, and to bring value. So like I have brought value on a social media platform for 11 years, you know, and I've always meant to do that. And the first video that went viral, had no idea that was going to happen. But like the watermelon video, yeah, when I made that, I made 2 of those videos, right? So I made one by myself and it was kind of messy, whatever. And then I was like, and I called Sean. I was like, babe, come over here and hold the camera for me while I do this. And I was like, what am I doing? Just post the original one, So like I posted the original one and not the one that Sean like had the camera over me. And it went viral because I knew it's like, you just gotta, if it comes to your mind and you feel like it's good content that's worthy of people grabbing onto, you just gotta make it. Don't even look at it and just post it. Like, and that's exactly what I did with this Pepper video, because like Everett was kind of like trying to get in the video and he was kind of whiny in it and whatever. And I'm just like, whatever, this is how our life looks and this is why we did this. So let's just post it. And it was obviously, time sensitive to what's going on, So of course I did think that one definitely was viral worthy material. Did I think it would have that 2 million shares? No, I did not think it would have 2 million shares, but I definitely thought it was viral material. But when I was videotaping it, I was like, this could definitely go viral. But I don't like wake up every day to create viral material. And that is where people go wrong, is they just spend so much time trying to pay attention to algorithms, times to post, and, lengths of videos and where to post it. And it's too much work. Like you're wasting your time when you could be bringing value to people. And the reason why my videos went viral is because people like what I bring to the table and they want to share that content. That makes sense.
Yeah. Jack, I see you smiling. What you got?
Well, I know some people like that. No, I think it's fantastic. I mean, when I listen to you explain the whole kind of idea behind it, what I hear is just trust your intuition and try to solve problems and bring value to people. And that's pretty cool. I think it's very unique that, you've gotten, you're so confident in that. And that's why I think everyone, can look up to you just for that quality. I mean, that's very liberating. Let me go back. Because you you said it, hippie, Mother Nature, whatever you want to self-describe. That doesn't bother me. Were you always like that? Or did you come from a background that, we talked before, you come from a background that, none of that, but you kind of found this. How did you find this? And obviously your husband as well. As I'm going to call it, your guide. Like for me, yeah. Right? Like I didn't find it, it took me like trials of addiction, right? To finally kind of get my priority of the world and how I was going to be, so that basically I wasn't an asshole to people. Mm-hmm. And I used my good qualities and also then didn't run myself dry and use bad coping mechanisms. So yeah, what or when did you kind of get, I'm going to march forward with this, with the confidence and the belief in that intuition and nature? Because I think it's very grounding. I mean, I hope that you and the audience doesn't think I'm knocking it. I'm not at all. What I'm saying is no. There's a spirituality, which I always tell people, I was raised Catholic, but I say recovering Catholic, and then my Catholic friends make fun of me for that. One of them was even like, you got to quit saying that. I'm like, well, no, it's true. But I go, I'm very spiritual, and you're very spiritual. But just in what you described is spiritual.
Yeah, I would say that I definitely live like a spiritual lifestyle more than a religious lifestyle. But here's the difference. And I just want to preface it with this because it's important to me. And then I'll explain like where that comes from. So I love religion. I think religion is really cool. I think there's so much history behind it. And I find it fascinating, the depths that it sinks into people's soul. And I truly have so much respect for all different types of religions. And I love to be able to have an open conversation. And it's something I rarely talk about on my live videos and stuff, because people can be overly passionate about their belief system, myself included in that. So I just want to preface that, and brings me back to this one story when I was in Colombia with my friend Megan. And my friend Megan loves Jesus, and I love her, and her Jesus loves me. And I full-heartedly believe that. We were at a steakhouse in Colombia, right? In Cartagena, Colombia. We had both earned this trip with our company. And she is just my most unlikely friend. And we were sitting at a steakhouse in Columbia, and she was streaming the Miss America contest because she was like so sad she was missing it. And I was like dying laughing. And we ended up having this like deep conversation about her walk with Jesus. And it was so cool because she listened to my walk, and she listened to my season. And we walked away from that conversation as such unlikely friends. And I wish that more people could have open conversations about that. And so for me, I do believe that I do believe I was born with the intuition that I have. And I grew up Catholic. So I, went to church with my Nana and Papa, and I went to CCD, and I got my not my confirmation, my communion. And here's something I'm so grateful for with my mom, even though we butted heads so much growing up, is I had that choice after I received communion. Do I want to go further or not? And my choice was to not. And I don't know if it was because I was a kid at the time and it took up time, or if that was just like part of my intuition that I hadn't tapped into yet. And so flash forward to my senior year of high school, my Nana passed away. And I never understood why somebody that was so important to me could be taken from me. Like, why would God do something like that? And it's not that I fell out of a relationship with him, because I don't think that I ever really had a deep relationship with that. But it was quickly after high school that I realized what my path was going to be spiritually, because I left my hometown, I moved to California, and I started to live my own life right then and there. And it was then that I like met all these really free spirited, like awesome people that just like flew off their cuff and, just threw caution to the wind and just lived the life that they always dreamt of living. And it was so amazing to me. And something would always pull me back to like my life before here in Massachusetts. And then I lived out in Yellowstone National Park. And when I lived out in Yellowstone National Park, I was really exposed to the lifestyle of like spirituality, meditation, oils, crystals, like the whole, openness of being just a spiritual person who kind of just like lets the universe guide them. And I've been pretty strong on that type of lifestyle since then, about 10, 12 years ago. Which I've been super grateful for. But even then, I knew that there was a mix of me that needed some type of grounding, because I had always been so up in the clouds, And so my business and my husband and my kids kind of give me that really cool piece of stability while still allowing me to be my whole self, which I don't know if any other marriage or even any other babies in the world, because I believe they were made just for me. Like I don't think any other marriage or kids or circumstance would have allowed me to be like all that I am, like unapologetically confident, and just really have stepped into my greatness and don't ever see myself stepping down from that. And I think that it's given me a really cool space in this world to just allow other women to hopefully, grow that within themselves too. But I believe I was born with it. I do. I think I'm different than other people. That's all. But I think everybody can do what I do, but it would probably just take a lot of practice,
Well, I think we all are. I think we're all different people.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think you've embraced, not only who you are, but you've embraced everything it's been thrown at you, and then you're just running with it. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And that's also why, just as part of your mission, you're bringing that to people and allowing them to maybe go, oh, I can be more comfortable. I mean, I struggle with it. I struggle with, the expectation that comes with a former naval officer. Inside, when I was inside that job, I struggled with, what the perfect Navy family's supposed to be like. And that's okay. I mean, I volunteered for that, but I struggled with it. And, now that, okay, so I don't have that, and it's like, okay, move beyond that phase of my life. And I still struggle with, what's, like you were kind of saying, what's the best way? Like, I have my mission, I have my passion, and, to go out there and step into your best self, even though I think for the most part, I've done pretty well inside and outside of the military of helping other people be the best version of themselves. I still struggle with it. And I do remember from the first conversation talking a little bit about your journey, but yeah, I think that's,
I
a
always
couple
say
of
that.
things like we've said it before, like the world is a big place, and the more people can understand that it is okay to have different thoughts and talk and communicate and debate or hear, but not, throw you because you think differently than me, I throw you in this category. That's really the pathway to a better world, right? And to meet a bunch of different people with different ideas. To me, that's the gift of life, right? Is that we can choose to go out there and do that. And
It's so beautiful. One of my mentors always said that one of my favorite sayings is like, when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And whenever you bring up religion or spirituality or just your belief system, period, like that's an emotional conversation. And so many people will, drop their intelligence in that conversation. They're just not open to having a conversation, because if you just took a second, you might realize like people really just wanted to like talk about it or whatever. But, and I hear you use that word struggle a lot. And, and I hear that all the time in my business because I mentor so many women, and a practice that I love, and maybe this is just something to share too, is also from that same mentor. She gave me two very powerful words that work every day for me, and it's until now. It's like I struggle with confidence until now. I can't do this until now. I really have always wanted to do a website, but I can't until now. And they're two really, really powerful words. And it really does eliminate the word struggle, because that's all pre-programming. It's like, okay, so someone in the military told you this. You do not have to carry that into your future. You are choosing to carry that into your future. It's like that person said that to you and their day kept on going. They never thought twice about what they said to you that had such a massive impact. So it's like, if they can keep on going, then why do you have to struggle? It's like, no, you just got to bless and release it and let it go, man, because otherwise you're going to take that to the grave, and your life's purpose will not have been fulfilled at the end, because you carried someone else's doubt and disbelief with you that whole time.
Yeah, until now is a great one. I use attack fear, if you will, or when you're carrying something that, you control. And I use it a lot with males, with overbearing fathers, usually. I mean, and I always say, like, what if, God forbid, he's dead tomorrow? Like, why are you carrying all of this, right, from another person when, you need to break free or you need to become your own person? And they look at me and they can see how much they would think differently if that human being wasn't there, because they've allowed them into their mind space and they're battling with that. And I say struggle, but I always say challenges too, to a degree. And we all have them, until now or attack fear. Usually for me, it's attack fear. If I get to the point where something's bothering me enough, I realize, I've got to go do it. I've got to like move past that and get rid of it. And it's been working so far. I agree. That's some great stuff.
It's comfort zones. Like, you can't live in a comfort zone. You got to recreate another comfort zone. I always use that. Like, I'll be like, okay, so here's your little comfort zone and here's you in the middle. You're going to edge to the outer rim and you're going to step outside. And the second you're outside of that comfort zone, you're not allowed back in. You can create a new one, and then you can walk your way all the way to the edge, and you can step out of that comfort zone and you can make a new one, but you cannot go backwards into those comfort zones that you already busted out of, So I don't know. It's just, I only have one life, and I don't know if it's going to end today or tomorrow. So I don't know. My goal is to just leave an impact on someone. And I know I've done that already. So I just need to continue finding somebody to make an impact on, so that when I leave, they can pass that on to someone else. And that's how you create a legacy, in my opinion. They may not know where that legacy came from in decades from now, but I don't know. I'll feel good that I left that there.
Well, I mean, I say it all the time. I mean, that's what we pass on. We really just pass on remembrance and feelings and people. It's as simple as people remember you when you're gone. and they immediately have a very positive and lessons you taught them, or literally they're like, yeah, that guy's an asshole.
Yeah, they're like, bye.
I mean, it's that simple.
If you like are holding a grudge now with somebody, like we are not even at the height of it here in Massachusetts. So it's like, now's the time to let go of a grudge. Now's the time to make a conversation and just open a door. And, if that person is still okay with being where they are and not, meeting you halfway or like, allowing you in or whatever, then you can't say that you didn't try. But, I'm grateful to not really have many grudges in my life. So, and the only ones I have are with ex-boyfriends anyway. So I'm not opening those doors.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just great advice in general. And I mean, I can speak for the addiction community. That is a lot of times one of the number one kind of mental stigmas that really holds people back from getting clean and sober, is holding grudges and resentments. And it's always a good time to clear them, but especially now. And yeah, I almost go daily in my routine to where by the time I get to the end of the day, I kind of take inventory. If for God's sakes, either one's developing or I've done something, like it kind of sets the plan for the next day to clean that up. Cause I really don't like leaving a relationship on either end. You can't control other people, but you certainly yourself, you don't have to have grudges or resentments, and you can clean that up.
COVID-19 is going to certainly change the way that the world works. And I think when this whole quarantine is lifted, we're still going to be very timid to get back out into the world. And I think that that's smart. And I think that the world is just going to be living a new normal. And I don't think that it's a bad thing. Like speaking of Mother Nature, but like, I think Mother Earth needed a break, and you can literally see like the scientific evidence of like the world physically healing, like the actual planet physically healing. And, maybe we were overstimulated and maybe, something bad was about to happen and this was it. And, we're going to walk out of this on the other side, sad to have lost so many people and sad to have seen people make bad decisions to not stop the spread of it. But in the end, like, I think that we might take care of each other a little bit more. We might take care of this planet a little bit more. And I think a lot of benefit will come out of it as well.
Yeah, well said. That's the mission I'm on. Like, I don't understand. And on a big level, right, even though I was a war fighter, like, I don't understand at 45 with my family why, when I look at history, just that particular thing always repeats itself. Because I've flown all over the world and I'm like, this is a really big place. And I've been formally educated in the major world religions. And I've sat down, I've spent months, maybe years with some of these people. And I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, the world's a really big place. Like, there's plenty of area for us to believe in what we believe and go around. And the other thing is the core, not to go back to religion, but spirituality and religion is, I agree, a totally different thing. But the core is to treat your fellow man like you'd like to be treated. It's all about just helping and being community. And I'm like, why in the world?
Be kind.
Right. Yeah, be kind. It's that simple.
Yeah. And I'm like, my boys were both baptized in a Catholic church because that's just a family tradition. And to me, that I was following a family tradition. And they have that recognition of God if that's what they choose. And people ask me, what do I want for my boys? And here's my thing. I want my boys to make a choice. If my boys want to be Catholic, go for it. If you want to be a Buddha, go for it. If you want to be, Jewish, go for it. I don't care. Whatever your belief is your belief, and I'll learn it with you, but I believe that they deserve that choice, and I'll introduce them to everything. That's my plan, is to introduce them to everything. But above all else, like, I don't give a rat's ass. I just want my boys to be kind. That's it. Like, this world needs more kindness, and I want my boys to be like kindness warriors, and that's what we practice the most here, is to just like be nice. And my kids, you'll see it. Like, if you ever met them, like, we were on a cruise, and I only have like 5 more minutes, just so you know. We were on a cruise, and my boys, Declan saw a woman who had a prosthetic leg, and he walks right up to her and he's like, "What happened to your leg?" And he is not shy to ask that. And I'm grateful for that, because wouldn't you rather them just ask the questions instead of like stare and
Right.
hold that question in? Because that hold of that question will manifest into something else, you know. And like we were in the airport once, and there was someone in a wheelchair, and Declan's like, "What happened to his legs? Why is he in a wheelchair?" I was like, "I don't know. Come here, bud." I was like, "Why don't you just ask them?" You know. So he did. He walks right up to him and he just asks them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would rather that than my kids like whispering behind them. You know, want to come say hi to Scott? Huh?
What's up,
What's
my
up,
man?
buddy?
You remember Scott and Jack? Say hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
What's up, buddy? How are you doing? You good?
Mm-hmm. Can I have 2 minutes and I'll be downstairs? We'll do something fun.
We'll let mommy go. We'll let mommy go in like 30 seconds.
Sound good?
You can stay right there. No,
Okay.
you really can.
You can
Hey.
stay. Oh God. Okay.
I'll stay down here and play.
I hear be kind, choices, and embrace your passion, follow your intuition. That's what I hear today as we're in the middle of COVID. It's great to see you still spry and getting after it, which is
Now
cool.
listen, I got a whole nother month here with these rugrats. So
We'll check back in like 30. We should do like a brief like every
once a month.
at the end of the month of like where we're at, where we're going.
Yeah, you can tell them. Go ahead, tell them.
This is amethyst.
Ooh, it's purple too, right?
Mm-hmm. Is that your favorite color? Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, we could do like a check-in in a month, and then
Love
if they
to.
do another month, and if they do another month, we'll just make this a monthly COVID
Coffee. I mean,
It's
that's
gonna
what
be
we're doing.
COVID. I love it.
That's what we're
that is
doing.
what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, we just
COVID tea time.
we just created a group of people being real from all over wherever. I'd love to get somebody international on, but we'll see.
I have a million friends international, so I have a great friend. Her name's Maria.
Yeah.
From UK, and she's a mom, and she has an autoimmune compromised son, and her husband's considered an essential worker.
Oh boy.
So I'd happily set her up with you guys too. Her name's Maria, and she is a very unlikely friend that I spend time with in the red light district of Amsterdam.
Nice.
We were drinking hot tea and eating freshly made waffles with chocolate syrup on the red light district in Amsterdam. So good for her.
Well, my wife and her girlfriends took a trip there, and they didn't understand what the brownies were. It's a great family story.
Yeah,
But,
I bet.
yeah. Well, it's good you're doing well, and thanks for some uplifting stuff today. And we'll check in. I mean, this is what you could do. It hasn't changed us much, but yet. And I don't think it will. But it's good to
run out of creativity soon enough. So check in with me later.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Kelly.
Kelly, you're awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. We'll talk
Bye,
soon.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's it. That's this edition of the Dark Side of Elite, powered by Performance Mountain. Stay classy, Nebraska. Stay calm, America.